Hi, my name's Manuela, and I'm an ordinary person, completely ordinary, nothing special about me. And I am from Cape Town, and I just want to share something with you that I'm absolutely passionate about, and just want to hear. Um, it's just so good that I cannot just keep it to myself, because that just would not be fair. Because something that I've just learned in life is that whatever we've received, we need to be able to give, and that the fact is that we cannot give unless we've received something. So, but I have received, and I am so excited when I see things just around me with the level of freedom that I've received. It just breaks my heart to see others that are not experiencing this freedom. So I'm one of the things I'm so passionate about is I'm passionate about people, and I'm passionate about helping people. But one thing I do know is that people need to be empowered, and they need to be taught how to fish, as opposed to giving the fish to them to eat, because it's the same like birds. If you look at nature, there's a nest and they have little babies in there, and if the babies get fed all their life and they're comfy and warm, etc., so they will never ever grow their full potential, because that's what we're meant to be. We need to be living our fullest potential in life, and that is to be kicked out the nest and to get on the ground and to go and look for the food and learn how to feed ourselves. And that's how we grow and become the birds that can actually fly. Oh, it's a funny story, but I heard that story and it really, really resonated for me. So part of my life is, I don't know about you, but we're supposed to be living an abundant life, and we're not living the abundant life when you look around you. And what is it that is causing us to not live the abundant life? And one of the things is that is money. It's a lack of money, or we don't have enough. We just never ever have enough money. And you're going to work every single day, and you're working so hard, and just from one month to the next, and there just seems to be never ever enough. And there are so many different reasons for that. And part of my life is I grew up as a little kid, and I got a 5-cent piece to go to the shop. I think I was about 6 or 7, somewhere there, maybe 8. But I went to the shop, and I was so proud that I was trusted to go to the shop. And I went to the shop, and on the way there, those days it was really safe out there. There was nothing to worry about, but I had to be fast because my granny was waiting for me, and I had to go get the bread, and had this 5-cent little piece. Now you know how old I am. I track back. But yeah, I had this 5-cent little piece, and I ran off to the shop, and I could see the shop, and I was walking through this dirt patch, and as I was walking and I was holding this 5 cents tight in my hand, something just happened, and I lost this 5-cent piece. And oh my word, I was like digging around in the sand, and I just couldn't find it. And my heart was broken, because I was not allowed to go back home without the bread. And how was I going to do this now? And I was sobbing my heart out. And then all of a sudden I heard this voice behind me that said, "Why are you crying, little girl?" And this person, I gave him my whole heart story, and the tears rolling down my face, and he reached into his pocket. I can't remember if it was a woman or a man, it doesn't matter, but this person gave me 5 cents and said, "Go, little girl, go and get that bread and go home." So I was like, oh my goodness, I was just so excited, and I was so taken by this person's generosity. And that's something that I want to be, is I want to really be generous, be able to just give when I can. And I find that we just can't do that, because we don't have enough. We just don't have enough. And one of the reasons why we don't have enough is that we just work so hard, and we have so much debt. Debt really enslaves you, and I know that, and I've seen through my life how people struggle financially. We definitely didn't have a lot of money, and I had hand-me-down clothes and all that kind of stuff, and there's nothing wrong with that, but sometimes you just want that pretty new dress, and not the dress that's too big or too small, or you don't want a school blazer when you go into, I think it's now grade 8, which our days was then 6, you go there and your blazer is just so way past your hands, the arm sleeves, and it's so big because you're tall for your age, and it's expected that you're just going to grow, and your parents just don't have the money for another blazer because they're expensive. And by the time I got to matric, my blazer was still very big. It never changed because I actually stopped growing at 12, but that's funny. So I was just looking at, how people manage their finances and stuff like that, and always just looking for ways to. And I know that during the month, sometimes our porridge was made with milk, full cream milk. In the middle of the month it was half milk, half water, and by the end of the month it was just water because there was no more milk, But and then so I grew up and I started earning my own money, and off I went to the shops. And oh my goodness, my first paycheck was so exciting. I bought some stuff for my family. I don't know if you remember that, but and so it carries, and you have double thick milkshakes because now you have all this money, and you buy clothes and you buy all sorts of unnecessary stuff, and eventually your paycheck's just not big enough, and all of a sudden, these little things get presented to you, a Fushini account, Edgar's Truers, whatever, and you think, oh my gosh, I can get so much more, and all I have to do is pay off a little for 6 months. But that also just snowballs, and you grow up, and all of a sudden you want to buy gifts and all sorts of things, and it just gets worse and worse, and you're not earning even enough to buy a car, or your dreams just get shattered. And then at the end of the month you just quickly pay everything because you're a good financial steward, and and then comes the credit card. Because now that's what you need in order to make things stretch and happen, and everybody has a credit card, and it's really good because what happens here, it's from peer to peer to peer, and then you get a second credit card and a third. Oh my goodness, I mean, life is just such a joy. It's so awesome because you can go eat out and you can have these wonderful things, and then you start having other things. You get married, or you have a boyfriend, or stuff like that, and all of a sudden you want to buy them gifts and special things, and that's not even working because now there's just not enough, and they're not contributing, and you're too insecure and too shy to ask them to contribute and stuff like that. Very dysfunctional, isn't that? But so you get the story, and I don't know if any of you can relate. So then you start rolling your money, from one to the next. And now you're even smart because you just know how to make one paycheck last and pay 4 creditors. I mean, that's incredible. And you still buy food. So, and you just have this joke about that your debts exceed your liabilities. It's quite funny, and it was a big joke when we used to go and we have a drink or two in the pub. But so here we go, and then you get children and you get married, and we have different viewpoints on finances and stuff like that, and all you know is that there is a better way, and you get another job, and there's just never enough. I think you get the point, hey? And I think fast forward, it's like you're on a treadmill, and you give and you do things, but you're just not able to, and you feel guilty when people ask you to borrow money, loan money from you, and you need food and you help them, and it's not out of your overflow that you give, But so I want to give you this fast story here, and if you can relate to any of that, and you want to know how to actually get out of this, because there is a way. That way I found 18 months ago. And I can say to you today, it's 18 months later, and I'm debt free. So I want to tell you more about my journey, but if you want to be debt free, and you want to know how, and if you can relate to this story, let me know. I'm not saying I have all the answers, but I can show you a way. And it changes everything, because you're no longer a slave. You're free. And what happens now next is now you can have a look, and you have a surplus. You actually create a surplus, and you're free. And now you can start building wealth, and you can start looking at becoming financially free. But if you're young and you have a lot more time on my hands than me, but it's never too late to start, you can actually make this happen, and you can live the abundant life so much sooner, because what happens is we can teach each other, and we can learn from one another. So there's a big disclaimer here. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm nothing. I'm just an ordinary person who by the grace of God, is debt-free right now, and learning how to build wealth. I've just started my first business, and with zero risk, zero money, and I've got already like 16,000% growth, and that's going to be just part of the journey. And I'd love to know, if you want to know more, I can share that with you. So till we see you again, hit the subscribe button, share this video, and I'll let you know when we go live next, and we can have a chat about this. Bye.